Amanda Nunes is returning to the UFC, and Kayla Harrison just captured the Bantamweight title in dominant fashion. On paper, that should be enough to revive the division, but here's the truth. This division is living paycheck to paycheck. One big name shows up, and it survives. But there's no savings, no future, and even with Amanda Nunes back, women's bantamweight is still broke.
Amazing. Exactly how I planned. Everything's perfect.
Now let's rewind a bit, because this didn't happen overnight. To understand why the division is still broke, even with Amanda Nunes back, we need to look at what happened after she left. Amanda Nunes retired at UFC 289 after completely clearing out the division. Again, there was no rival left, no storyline unfinished, and no clear successor waiting in the wings. Juliana Pena had briefly shocked the world with her upset win in 2021, but in the rematch, which I saw personally, Nunes dominated, and the Pena era ended before it even began. After that, the division entered survival mode. Irene Aldana froze under the lights. Raquel Pennington was next, but brought no buzz. Mayra Bueno Silva choked out Holly Holm, then tested positive, then didn't even really show up for her chance at the belt. The UFC wasn't building stars. They were waiting for someone to be interesting instead of creating contenders with momentum. And because of that, the belt lost meaning. The division lost direction. It wasn't evolving. It was just trying to survive the next event. Then came Kayla Harrison. After years of speculation, she finally joined the UFC. Not as a rising contender, but as a two-time Olympic gold medalist and a former PFL champion with real credentials behind her. And unlike some high-profile signings, Kayla didn't get a free ride. She earned her shot. She outworked Caitlin Vieira, she dominated Holly Holm, and at UFC 316, she didn't just win the Bantamweight title, she crushed Juliana Pena. She imposed her will, she controlled every minute, and she locked up a Kimura with seconds left in round 2, just to make a statement. It was violent, it was dominant, and for a moment, it felt like women's bantamweight finally had a future. But here's the reality. Kayla's run was impressive, but it also highlighted just how shallow the division really is. There were no brutal wars, no 5-round tests, just 3 fights, and no one could even make her sweat. That's not Kayla's fault. That's a reflection of a division that's been running on empty. Kayla is elite, a legit star, but she's not here to develop the division. She's here to headline it. And that's why this still feels like a bailout, not a rebuild. Because now that Kayla's the champ, the UFC only has one name to turn to.
So now we have Kayla Harrison, and I'm back. I'm definitely back.
Amanda Nunes didn't just dominate the bantamweight division, she defined it. She beat every former champion, dismantled every contender, and when she walked away from the UFC after UFC 289, the title felt less like a prize and more like a souvenir. Now she's back, and not just for one night. So she says. Amanda says she wants to defend the belt again, maybe more than once. And yeah, the matchup with Kayla Harrison, it sells itself. But even if Amanda's willing to defend, who's actually ready to challenge her? There's no top 5 contender with momentum, no built-in rivalries, no stars waiting in line. If Amanda wins the belt back, she might stick around, but that only works if the division gives her something to work with. This isn't about Amanda's legacy. She's already the GOAT. It's about the UFC's failure to build a division worth defending. Amanda might be willing to carry this division again, but she shouldn't have to carry it alone. Now, let me be the first to put this on the table. There could be a bantamweight title fight between Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko waiting in the wings. It's a massive fight, a trilogy, 2 legends, but if the best matchup the UFC can make at 135 involves someone from another division, that says more about where this weight class is right now than anything else. Let's play this out. Let's say Amanda defeats Kayla. And let's say Valentina beats Zhang Wei Li after giving her a shot at champ status. Now you've got Valentina poised for her own shot at champ. The former champ facing the former champ to become a champ herself. It's a dream fight, but again, it's not coming from the division. It's coming from the outside, and that's the problem. Let's pause for a second and ask, what does a healthy division actually look like? If women's bantamweight is living paycheck to paycheck, then men's welterweight is sitting on a trust fund. It's not just about who's at the top, it's about who's next. And in welterweight, there's always a next. If the champ takes off, there's another contender waiting. If the belt changes hands, there's another contender ready to go. And if a fight falls apart, you've still got 5 storylines fans care about. The UFC has invested in welterweight. They build contenders before title shots. They promote fights like they matter, even without belts. And fans care, because they've been given reasons to. That's what's missing in the women's bantamweight division. Not talent, but time, promotion, and a plan. And an infusion of more talent wouldn't hurt. There's no ecosystem, no urgency to create stars, so when someone like Amanda Nunes retires, the entire system collapses. Welterweight isn't perfect, but it's sustainable. Women's bantamweight isn't, because the UFC never built a foundation. Right now, women's bantamweight is surviving off moments. A big debut here, a GOAT comeback there, a matchup we didn't know we needed until it landed. But that's not a strategy, that's a crisis budget. The UFC can't keep waiting for an Amanda Nunes to return or a Kayla Harrison to headline or for someone like Valentina to drop in for a visit, because star power isn't a substitute for infrastructure. If this division is going to survive, the UFC has to invest. That means giving real fights to fighters like Norma Dumont, giving Jacqueline Cavalcanti, Macy Chasson, or even Eileen Perez high-ranked matchups before it's too late. I know it sounds weird, but that's the way the other divisions are built. You can't just hand out title shots and hope someone sticks. You have to build contenders before the belt is on the line. The bantamweight division doesn't need another big name that isn't here for the long haul. It needs a system that turns talent into stars, that rewards momentum, that has a future. Because right now, it's living paycheck to paycheck. And eventually, when that check bounces, blame the people who let the division go broke. If you agree with what you heard, or hell, even if you didn't, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more content. Till next time.